welcome to the Pirate Handyman, where we give you tool-saving tips on how to keep coin in your treasure chest. If you kind of dig what we're doing, hit that subscribe button down below and hit that notification bell. That way when a new video drops, which is every Tuesday and Thursday, you'll get more tips on how you can keep more coin in your pocket. Now today what we're going to be talking about is the dryer. And this is fairly easy to maintain, but it's also very critical. The main reason being fires. You get a big lint buildup in these things, and it's very easy for it to catch on fire if you're not careful. So we're going to show you a couple of tips. Now this particular dryer we've had for 24 years, and it's because we continually maintain it, keep it cleaned. It's easier to maintain a dryer than it is, say, a washer. You can see that the washer is a little bit newer. But this we've been able to keep together for 24 years just through simple maintenance. So the first thing, of course, is the lint trap. Now you want to keep the lint trap clean. Depending on what kind of laundry you've just had go through there, we check it probably at least every second time we use it. It's probably a good idea to check every time that you use it, because you'll see it builds up, and what happens is it restricts the airflow going out. And as we've talked about with maintenance on pretty much everything from your car to appliances, the harder it has to work, the sooner it's going to wear out. So we don't want it working any harder than it has to, so we just take the lint off it, throw it away, and look down in to see if there's anything blocking the way in here, and we don't see anything. So we put it back. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pull this out and we're going to check the hose. And this is very critical in checking the hose, because you want to make sure you have no kinks and you want to make sure it's not blocked up. Because not only is it going to restrict the airflow, it's going to make the dryer work harder, your energy costs are going to go up, and your clothes don't get dry as fast. It takes them longer to get dry, the less airflow you've got going through it. So let's pull this sucker out. Now you saw I moved the dryer out. It's fairly light, but I'm kind of used to doing it. Sometimes you might need some help, especially if it's in a tighter space or something like that, so don't be afraid to ask for help. It'd be very easy to get somebody to help you just kind of walk the thing back. Alright, so what we've done now is we've taken the hose off, and there's just a little ring like this that has a screw on it, and the screw either tightens or loosens the ring. And we've taken that off, and we've talked about helping you save coin. Sometimes you can find treasure in places like this. Here's some of me doubloons. So now we're going to take it loose from the outside vent. So same thing, we use our screwdriver. We'll loosen it. Once it's loose, it just pulls right off. Now, what we want to do here is we want to check the vent and make sure there's nothing in there. Now, in this case, the vent is just about 12 inches long, and I can get my hand in there to the outside flapper, and it's fairly clean. Now, we're going to take this outside, and we're going to blow it out to get any debris that is in here that could be collecting and possibly restricting the airflow. Okay, so now we've got this outside. I want to show you something. I'm just going to stick my hand down in here. And this is what's built up, and this has been about 6 months worth. So it doesn't take long for this stuff to build up. I like to do this about once every 6 months or so. Again, it depends on the size of your family, how often you're using the dryer, or if you got a really dirty family, like whenever we come back from sailing. Whoa, boy, I tell you. Anyway, so this is just what's in here. So I'm just going to dump this and just give it a good shake. You can hear it, you can see it. we're not done yet. So now, if you remember, this end was attached to the dryer. So we want to blow out any excess stuff that's in here. We want to blow it the same way. We don't want to blow it backwards. All right, so now what we're going to do is, in this case I've got a shop vac, but you can use any type of tank vacuum or even an upright vacuum that has an attachment on it for upholstery cleaning. And we're going to put it in here and just kind of move it around and blow the stuff out. Now what I like to do is I like to take a rag and kind of wrap it around a little bit to form a better seal, and that way it's pushing all the air out that way. So now we'll turn her on. So now we're going to go put this all back together. This is interesting. This is a collar stay. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of Genesis. Do you know why it reminds me of Genesis? Because this was one of the first songs off of And Then There Were Three. Stay with me. Alright, now that we've got that all blown out, you might want to do the same thing to the vent if you have a longer vent. This just goes to the outside, through the outside wall. It's the outside wall on the other side of this. We've already checked it and it's fine. So we'll put her back together. And you just slide this on. Screw the little clamp down. Then we'll do the same thing on the back. Alright, so now we're going to move the dryer back. One thing I want to mention, if when you're checking the hose you find that there are any holes in it, this type of stuff is very easy to replace, and it's very inexpensive. Don't try to fix it with duct tape or something like that, because eventually it's going to come loose and you'll get the dust and everything coming up inside. And if you have a gas dryer, it's even more critical, because the flame could actually ignite some of that dust and cause a fire, so we don't want to do that. So we've cleaned out the hose, we've put it back on. Now this is the last critical thing, is you want to make sure when you put it back that you don't get any kinks. Now you can have a 90-degree bend in it, but you don't want it to kink where it's coming back on itself. So I just keep an eye on it as I'm pushing it back. And I've got a nice little turn in it the way it's supposed to be. And again, you don't want to push it all the way back, because you could either pull the hose loose, you could crush it, you could cause it to kink, and it'll come up again. Okay, so we've got it all back together. You can see you can do this whole thing in probably 15 to 30 minutes. Depending on how much you use the dryer, you probably want to do this at least once a year. Probably every 6 months might be a little better if you have lots of kids, or if you're just a dirty family. So, and I mean dirty in a good way. Anyway, if you have any questions about the dryer and other things, if you have some hacks that you use that make your dryer last longer, put them in the comments down below. But if you dig what we're doing, hit the subscribe button. Also hit that little notification bell, and that way whenever a new video drops, which is every Tuesday or Thursday, you'll get notified on how you can save more money. So thanks for joining the Pirate Handyman, and smooth sailing.